Hello everyone, welcome to today's video where I will be showing you how to achieve this look using a full face of Milani cosmetics. Milani recently sent over a huge PR box of all of their new product launches. And they sent that after I had already gone out and purchased most of the new products. Actually, I think I had gone out and purchased everything in that box. So because of that, what I am going to do is give one of you the opportunity to receive all of the duplicate products that I no longer need. All of these are completely unopened, unused. So this will be a giveaway. All you need to do is leave a comment on this video and I will do the random comment picker to select one person who will receive a box of new Milani makeup. Most of the products I will be using today are new releases, but then there are some products I'll be using that are oldies but goodies. I've already moisturized my skin and now I'm going to go in with my primers. Up first is the Milani eyeshadow primer. I really like this one. I've raved about it in videos for quite a long time. And I cannot believe with the amount of Milani makeup that I own, I could only find one primer in my stash. I really do like this one. It is their dewy primer, but it's not the best for me because I have oily skin. That said, I'm going to be using their Conceal and Perfect foundation, which is a little bit more matte. And being that it is still winter, I'm interested to see how this combo actually works out for me. It's certainly a great primer for anyone with combination to dry skin. The point I was trying to make is that I am surprised, really surprised, that I do not own a mattifying primer from Milani. Or there's a very good chance I just misplaced it, as I did my Milani brow pencil. I did find my Milani brow pen called Weekend Brow, but I am going to have to use a brow pencil from NYX because I couldn't find the brow pencil. And I like to use a pencil to sort of carve out the brow, or not carve out the brow, shape the brow, and then go in with a pen like this one to do little brush strokes at the front. Okay, now that my face is primed, I'm going to zoom you in a little bit and we will get started on this makeup look. As I mentioned moments ago, I will be using the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation and concealer, and I am using the shade 03 Light Beige. And for my foundation application, I will be using the BK Beauty 101 brush. I just applied that much for the side of my face and tapping it in. This is definitely a full coverage foundation, medium to full coverage, more full coverage. It's really covering up everything very nicely. I remember really liking this foundation and I'm not sure why I ever stopped using it consistently in my foundation rotation. Oh, I know, that's because a new foundation comes out every other week and I'm always trying new things. I mean, that is my job, so I do sort of have an excuse. But I do really enjoy, once in a while, bringing out old products and retrying them and remembering just how good they are. Now, I don't think this would be a top pick for anyone who is used to wearing, say, just a tinted moisturizer or any type of skin tint. Why is my pump not working? Well, that's a bummer. I have to be able to at least get enough out to do this side of my face. What is going on? My goodness, it's not out, is it? No. I have enough to at least do this video. Oh, I really like this. I'm gonna be interested to see how this holds up throughout the day because, as I was saying, I haven't used it in a really, really long time. So what I will do is try to put a caption at the end of the video letting you know how it held up over the course of the day. In addition to Milani's new Luminoso collection, they also came out with their Conceal and Perfect Facelift collection. That is this right here. They did send this to me. However, this video is not sponsored. I'm not getting paid for this video, but they did send me these products as well as some of the other products I'll be using. But as I mentioned at the beginning, I had already gone out and purchased them myself. But anyway, as you can see, I have already tried some of the products. I've tried the Melon Under Eye Brightener, but today I want to try the Rose Under Eye Brightener. And the packaging on these is like a mini version of the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand packaging, like a micro mini version wherein you have the sponge tip, you twist it to lock and unlock, or maybe you don't. Does this one lock or unlock? I think so. Twist to unlock. And then I'm going to squeeze out some on the back of my hand. Oh yeah, this might be better for me. I do like a peachy tone as a corrector, but sometimes they can be too peachy and too dark. And that's kind of how I felt about this melon shade. So I am just going to use my finger, I'm going to use my middle finger. I know some people like to use their index finger, but for some reason I like to use my middle finger. It's kind of watery, not watery, runny, thin, but it is doing a decent job of brightening. And I think with concealer on top, it's going to look really good. Now I'm just applying it with the sponge instead of my finger first. Oh, I like this. Yeah, this is much better than the melon for my skin tone. But I'll tell you, I squeezed out way too much, so be careful. Look at that. I'm gonna put a little bit like right here on my smile lines. Heck, why don't I just put it all over? I feel like because I have this on, I won't need to use nearly as much concealer. But before I go over the top of this with concealer, I'm going to use the Conceal and Perfect Contour. I've already tried Ginger and I did really like it, but I think today, again, I'm gonna go in with a lighter shade. This one is called Honey 01. Do the same thing, hopefully not get as much out this time. Putting about that much on the back of my hand. Taking, where's my brush? Here you are. Gonna take this IT Cosmetics Heavenly Brush number 7. This is my go-to for blending out contour. Ooh, yes, this is also much better for my skin tone than the other one. But if you have darker skin, go for 03 in the contour and 02 Melon. And then there are darker shades even than those two. Those other ones maybe I'll use when I have more of a tan going on. It's an at-home tan. I never actually go out in the sun to tan. Not since 1990 have I done that. Oh, you know what? It's just leaking out of the top. That's not good. Oh, that's such a bummer. Why is it leaking out of the top? Ugh, that's frustrating. You know what? I'm gonna have to go get a tissue and wipe this off. If anyone from Milani Cosmetics is watching, please tell me what I did wrong, because I really did only squeeze just a tiny bit. I guess they are similar to the Charlotte Tilbury in that they do get pretty messy. Now I'm going to use the Conceal and Perfect Concealer in the shade 125 Light Natural. Also putting a little bit of that on the back of my hand. Oh, this is empty too. Darn it. Well, Risa, it would have been a really good idea to check these things before deciding to do this video. But you know, it's been such a crazy week. I launched my lashes with BK Beauty this week. This video is going up the following week, but yesterday was our launch and I thought I could film this yesterday and I would have time to yesterday, but I was so busy trying to respond to everyone's comments, not only on here, but also on Instagram and TikTok, and there were just so many. Obviously, that's a good problem to have, but I just feel a little bit guilty when I can't respond to everyone. And I'm sure you saw that I took the concealer over my lids, and I'm really, really liking how this is looking. So to set that contour, I'm going to use the Milani, I guess I don't need to continually say Milani. This is the Silky Matte Bronzer in Suntan. So I'm just setting that contour, giving myself a bronzy glow. Well, this is a matte bronzer, it's not glowy, but we will be adding in some glow a little later. Okay, I'm going to wait to set my under eyes with powder until I've done my concealer. Not my concealer, until I've done my eyeshadow. But what I am going to do is set the lids with a little powder because I did put concealer on there. And doing this will just make the concealer, oh my goodness, why do I keep saying concealer? The eyeshadow go on so much smoother. I have already tried several of these new products from the Luminoso collection, like this eyeshadow palette, like the blush highlighter, And then I've also already tried and have opinions on the Stay Put Liquid Brow Wax and the Stay Put Infinite Liner. I have also already tested the highly rated Lash Extensions Tubing Mascara. I was indifferent to this, but again, I'm going to be retrying it. So this is the eyeshadow palette. Unfortunately, if you are someone who prefers cool tones, this is not going to be for you. I'm going to start by using In the Clouds, which is a matte neutral kind of taupey brown, and I'm running that through my crease. And because I have hooded eyes, I am keeping my eyes open and just blending right above where, if I had a deeper crease, where that would be. So I just sort of pushed in on where my crease would be if I had one. Now, in a move that will surprise no one, I am going to go in with this darker brown right on the outer corner. And look how pigmented that is. I was really impressed by the pigmentation of this palette the first time I used it. Oh, I have to zoom you in more. So I'm just sort of patting this on and then taking a smaller brush and blending it out, making little circles. And I'm just sort of arbitrarily grabbing brushes, but I will try to list them all in the description box. Adding a little bit more. And as you can see, I'm patting, lifting my eyes so that I can see that entire area, all the lid space under the fold. And don't worry if you get the eyeshadow down here, because we're going to clean that right up. Now using my middle finger, I'm going into the shade Dusk. Once again, the pigment is there. And I'm putting my chin up and looking down so I can once again see all of my lid space. And because I want to make the center of my eyes pop, I'm going to go into the gold shade and place that right there, right in the middle. And then I'm taking Halo and running that over the top above my crease, just to blend everything out very softly with a pretty light color. And you know what? I think I might layer Luminoso over that as well, just in the inner corner, right here. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to do for the upper lid. I thought I brought in pointed Q-tips, but apparently I didn't. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this tissue with some eye makeup remover and clean up, just like that. Angle the shadow up towards my temple to give a more lifted appearance. And this is why I didn't set my under eye just yet. So now I'm going to take my damp sponge that still has a little bit of product on it and go over the underside of where I cleaned up. All right, going back in with this new Stay Put liquid eyeliner. I did not like this at all the first time I tried it. This applicator was so stiff, I could not maneuver it along my lash line. I prefer more of a felt tip marker type of applicator that sort of just glides over my lid. This one, not my favorite. What I'm going to do though this time is push it on my hand a couple times to see if I can get it to sort of loosen up a little bit because it was so stiff. So, all right, that also took a little bit of the product off, which might not be a bad thing. I've got to make sure my fingers are clean because that contour was so messy. All right, this is always challenging regardless of if it's a good eyeliner or not. Liner on hooded lids, also trying to do it on camera and not going out of frame. Okay, doing what I did, bending it back and forth on my hand has definitely made it better. I still don't love it. I don't love the way it's going on. If you have an unsteady hand at all, you are not going to like this. For some reason, my hands are being very unsteady right now, so I am struggling. It does dry quickly, which is good for those of us with hooded lids, because I know if you have hooded lids, you've experienced this before, where you apply liquid eyeliner and then you open up your eyes and the liquid eyeliner is right here, not down here. Okay, I take back what I just said immediately. Look what just happened. The liquid eyeliner has transferred right onto my hood. And look what a mess this has become. Oh, Milani. I used to love everything they put out. Oh my goodness, what are we going to do? Pointed Q-tips to the rescue. You can get these on Amazon. So I will take the pointed Q-tip with a little bit of makeup remover on it, and I am going to hopefully just erase this whole thing. Now, did this take off my eyeshadow? It sure did. We're going to take the dry part of the Q-tip and dry that. Then we're just going to go right back in with our finger to this shade right here. Pat that right over the top. Then take a really small brush, go back into that darkest shade, and then pat that in. And that is when I call it quits on this eyeliner. I am going to touch this up with just some black eyeshadow, do the same thing on the other side, and come right back. All right, I'm back. Eyeliner is done. I did this entire right eye just using black eyeshadow. You can use any black eyeshadow. And then I also went ahead and filled in my brows. Remember at the beginning of the video, I mentioned that I could not find my Milani brow pencil. And I decided against using the Weekend Brow because I have it in soft brown, which is a little bit dark for the pencil I used. But I am going to set them with this new Stay Put liquid brow wax that I did have much better luck with than this eyeliner. So this is very similar in my opinion to the new Benefit Fluff Up Brow Wax, although I do think that the Benefit product gives you a more true fluffy brow. And I'm not gonna lie, I am pretty disappointed in some of these new Milani products. They used to knock it out of the park all the time, and I just feel like lately I haven't been really wowed. Okay, so that is not a bad product, nothing to write home about, but I don't hate it. Now I'm going to apply just a little bit of that dusk shade that I put on my lid. I'm just gonna smudge a little bit of that along my lower lash lines. All right, now it's time to curl my lashes and then apply the new mascara. So this is the highly rated Lash Extensions Mascara, which is a tubing mascara. And for those of you that might not know what that means, well, it means that instead of being a traditional waxy mascara formula, this formula is going to form individual tubes around each lash that can only be removed with warm water and your fingertips. I remember years ago selling Blink mascara at my store, which was, I believe at the time, the first ever tubing mascara. And we used to keep that right at our checkout counter. And we pretty much added one to every sale because tubing mascaras are the best kind to prevent smudging, flaking. It is waterproof, meaning that you can go underwater with it and it won't get all over the place because the water does have to be warm and you do have to use a little bit of pressure to remove the tubes. So I have tried this already and I didn't love this one. I definitely feel like I like Blink better, the original. And I think Kevin O'Quan has one as well as Trish McAvoy. This one's not bad though. It does give me some nice length and separation. And I really like to use this type of mascara on my lower lash lines because that's where I tend to get the most smudging. I'm typically not the biggest fan of rubber bristles. So I'm just sort of twirling and lifting and twirling and lifting, trying to make the most of my puny lashes. I'm gonna put a little bit on my lower lash lines as well. And if this ever happens to you where you get a little dot of mascara right there, don't touch it. Wait till it dries and then flick it away. Okay, now we are going to set the foundation. About 2 weeks ago, I uploaded a video ranking 10 of the hottest new drugstore makeup releases. And I think I had this Milani Conceal and Perfect powder at number 5. I can't remember exactly, but someone left me a comment saying that I needed to try to use it with a puff versus a brush, which is how I had been using it, just to see if I had a better result with a puff versus a brush. Because I didn't love this either, especially not in comparison to the hype that it was getting, and also in comparison to some other loose powders that I really like. In that video, I mentioned the Wet n Wild Photo Focus loose powder that I think is beautiful at giving you an airbrushed look at an affordable price. But I'm going to try it with a powder puff that I got on Amazon. Put some into the lid, holding it like a taco, pressing in, and let's give it a go. I would say it's better. It's brightening, but to me, it still feels a little, I don't know, it doesn't, it doesn't feel chalky when I rub my fingers together, but it's just not as silky as some others. And I worry about flashback with this because it did lighten my overall makeup a little bit. So I think this might be great for under the eyes because I do like the brightening that it's giving, but I don't want my entire face to look an entire shade lighter. Applying it with a puff is better. So if you are the person that suggested that I do this, thank you. See, I do read your comments. They are very helpful to me. I guess my only concern is what I just said, that it would have a little flashback or maybe just be too light in comparison to, the rest of my makeup or the rest of my body. Because I do feel like it did lighten my makeup a little bit, I am going to go back in with some more bronzer and put the warmth back in. Now I'm going in with the classic and beloved Luminoso Baked Blush. Such a pretty color. It's glowy, it's peachy, it's so pretty. And with this blush, you almost don't need a highlighter with it, but I am going to use a little bit of my favorite Milani highlighter, which is called Stellar Lights. I really hope they still make this. First thing I'm doing is taking the lightest shade and popping that into my tear ducts. And then also a little bit right under my brow. And then I'm going in with a combination of the two other shades, tapping off my excess. And look at that glow. So pretty. Okay, now it's time for lips. I'm starting off with the Understatement lip liner in Nude Entrance, followed by the matte lipstick in the shade Pleasure. I just adore these lipsticks. They are so, so good. They truly rival high-end lipsticks. And then I'm going to top this beautiful combo with the Keep It Full gloss in Luminoso. Okay, here's the finished look in Natural Light. I love, love, love how this turned out. This foundation, while I believe it still looks really, really good, did oxidize at least one full shade, but it does look kind of flawless. As far as the concealer and corrector, I really, really like these. Other than the mess, oh my goodness, you know what I just realized? I forgot to show you the Cheek Kiss Liquid Blush in Luminoso. Oh, how did I forget? I could put some on now. No, I don't think so. I have tried it already and I didn't love it. I don't feel like it did much of anything. I prefer to use just a regular blush and highlighter, which is why I did go in with this blush and this highlighter, although my original intention was to show you how this looked and show you that it didn't really give much color, nor did it give much of a glow. Other than this being extremely messy and oozing out the top, I really like this product. It blended very, very easily. It is comparable to the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand, I think. I also really like this under eye brightener in Rose. The concealer I have liked for a very, very long time, hence why mine is empty. The Stay Put Infinite Liner was a complete dud in my opinion. The Stay Put Liquid Brow Wax is just okay. The highly rated tubing mascara, also in my opinion, is just okay. Nothing that I'm going to scream from the rooftops about. I did go in and apply my own BK Beauty Risa Does Makeup lashes in Stiletto. This Milani bronzer has been a favorite for a long time now. And by the way, I will have all of the products listed and linked down below in the description box of this video. The lip combo. I adore this lip combo. I think it is one of the prettiest nude pinky peach lip combos I've ever worn. I have a difficult time finding these understatement lip liners in store, at least the full range. I don't ever recall seeing the shade Nude Entrance in the stores, but I could be and probably am wrong. So if you see Nude Entrance, grab it. And if you see this highlighter palette, I suggest grabbing it. The Luminoso eyeshadow palette. I think it's really good quality, I do. I think that the shadows are buttery and pigmented. The color story, while definitely in line with the Luminoso vibe, is pretty. It's just not my personal favorite. I don't think there's enough variety in this palette, and I wish that the shimmers had just a little bit more of a punch. In the big PR package that Milani sent me that I spoke about towards the beginning of this video, there were, I think, 6 or 8 new eyeshadow quads. I think they were called Gilded Minis. So I will be testing and reviewing those shortly as well. Oh, you know what I forgot to put on? My Make It Last setting spray. I do love my Charlotte Tilbury setting spray, but if that is not in your budget and you have normal to oily or combination to oily or oily skin, this is an excellent budget-friendly option. Okay, I hope you all enjoyed seeing this full face of Milani, including their newest releases. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. If you are not already subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe button and join the Risa Does Makeup family. I do post new content at least twice per week. You can also find more content from me over on TikTok and Instagram under the same username, Risa Does Makeup. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope to see you in my next video.